Euglenozoa, class Euglenidia, some species with light-sensitive stigma. What is stigma? Is a structure that can detect light. So when they detect light, stigma is a structure that can detect light, and they use that light for what? Photosynthesis. So some of the species in this phylum are photosynthetic. They do, they're autotroph. They do they have chloroplast to do photosynthesis, as you said it. Euglena is a free living one. They have one, your new textbook says, sorry, I have to change that. Your new textbook says they have two flagellum now. If you take the old textbooks, it says one, but now they have two, because with electron, as technology improved, guys, we can see more. With electron microscope, transmission electron microscope, now they are seeing two flagella, not one flagellum. I hope I'm making some sense. So there are two of them. Again, if there are some tests or quiz question, come to me, send me. There are two of them in here. That needs to be changed. I'll change it. Well, I announce it. I write it on the board. But anyhow, the next one, again, as I said, don't worry about class. Trypanosoma TDA is the most devastating one in this phylum. They do cause a lot of death on planet Earth. A lot of people suffer, a lot of people die earlier than their normal life, and they're all parasitic. Again, some people look at this and say, oh, all of the phylum is parasitic. No, that all of this class is parasitic. All of the members of this class are parasitic. So which one that the two organisms, we do have a slide of them, Lishmania and Trypanosoma. Lishmania, please, if you learn how to say them, I promise, you learn how to spell them. Trypanosoma and Lishmania. So Lishmania, which one am I going to talk about? Euglena. Okay, let's talk about the Euglena structures. It has Euglena, see how I underline them? It means that's the name of the genus. Okay, you have pellicle is the structure outside of the animal, the organism again. Outside of this protista, kinetosome is a structure inside of the organism which has DNA, and they use that DNA to classify these organisms. Contractile vacuole stigma to locate guide chloroplast. Paramylon bodies, it makes sugar and stores starch molecules in paramylon bodies. Reproduction by binary fission. In your slides, you might be able to see the binary fission on Euglena. Here they are, is a structure of, again, this is the old picture, it has one flagellum. There is another small one in here as well. Okay. Again, I think I went over everything in there. Let's go, this is the one that you need to emphasize. Trypanosoma brucei rodensiense. Rodensiense is a subspecies. The way they discovered this, the first time was Rhodesia is an area of Africa. They found them, and this organism caused death. And what happens with this? People who are infected with Trypanosoma rodensiense, they fall asleep. They call them, the common name for it is sleeping sickness. Okay, so when people are in the street, I've heard, I haven't seen any video, I haven't seen any picture, they're walking on the street, and all of a sudden, the organism, the Trypanosoma inside of the host, human, multiply, so they go into sleep. They go into a corner, they go into sleep. And then finally, when immune system kicks in and gets control of the person gets up and walks and go on with their normal life. Eventually, after this happens several times, the host will die. That's the story of Trypanosoma. That's why a lot of people are working on it to get rid of it on planet Earth. Okay. Trypanosoma brucei gambiense, again in Gambia, another portion of Africa that this was discovered first. It can cause death, but usually it's not as devastating as rodensiense. Okay, rodensiense usually is, death can occur, but a person can live a little bit longer. Trypanosoma brucei, that is the trypanosoma that is in animals. wild animals, domestic animals. And of course, the organism that transmits them is tsetse fly. Tsetse fly is an organism, is a fly. Glossina is the name of the genus. Glossina is the name of the genus that it can take a blood meal from one person to the next person. That's how it can be transmitted. The other way it can be transmitted from animals to human. For whatever reason that we don't completely understand it, when it is an animal, it is Trypanosoma brucei, but when it gets to human, then it becomes Trypanosoma rhodensiense or gambiense, or the animal, the fly that goes from wild animals to human, it can come have both of them. It can have, they took a blood meal from an animal and they have Trypanosoma brucei, then they come and take a blood meal from a human, an infected human, and they take that blood meal to another human, and that human has both Trypanosoma brucei and, for example, gambiense or rhodensiense. Again, you can read up on it a lot and know what happens, how we human, if you read your textbook and other places, they say wild animals, the animals in Africa, both wild and domestic animals, act as a reservoir for this parasite. But how brucei becomes gambiense or rhodensiense, we don't know. How this is a reservoir, I guess they call it, this is a reservoir to the animal sustain its life, and you take a blood meal from these wild animals, and then later on take a blood meal from a human and transmit it to another human. So if you encounter somewhere in your next few days, what is a reservoir? Reservoir, you all know what I mean by reservoir. For Trypanosoma, either one, gambiense or rhodensiense, it would be wild animals. It would not be the fly, the Glossina. I give you a few choices, right? Give you multiple choices. Trypanosoma cruzi, on the other hand, is the one that is found in South and Central America. Different species, on the microscope, you can tell them apart. And the symptoms are different. The one that is in South and Central America, it causes heart problem. Usually the person will suffer a heart problem. Okay? The other one, both gambiense and rhodensiense, is a central nervous system problem. The parasite causes central nervous system problem. Here, cruzii cause heart problem. And they call it Chagas disease. It's not called sleeping sickness anymore. The one that is in South and Central America. When I say South and Central America, southern part of Texas, southern part of California, there are a few cases reported each year. You can look up online how many cases of Trypanosoma cruzi are reported in the United States. Okay, so again, a lot of people are working on Trypanosoma cruzi and trying to cure it. Transmitted by kissing bug, Trichomania, another Lishmania is another organism. Again, we are talking about class Trypanosoma. Lishmania is found in liver. We do have a slide of it. Liver and spleen. There are three different types of leishmaniasis, but we only mentioned two of them in here: visceral leishmaniasis and cutaneous leishmaniasis. Visceral leishmaniasis, usually the liver becomes enlarged, spleen, liver, they get enlarged, and you see, I'll show you some pictures that the person has a big belly. That big belly is not by drinking beer, it's by liver, by Lishmania, okay? And cutaneous leishmaniasis, you have the skin, it affects the skin, and you will see some pictures. Transmitted by sandfly, okay? Here is a person with an enlarged spleen, and of course, as I said, this course is all about blood and glory, right? So the person have died. Again, liver is, I think, is abnormally large as well. Here's a person that you say, wow, he's very skinny. Of course, he's malnourished, but the belly is huge. Why is that? Because that person is not only malnourished, also is infected with Lishmania. So most of this is liver. Okay, liver or spleen. Again, this is the cutaneous leishmaniasis. This person with therapy and other things went back to normal skin, but still his face was had little nodules, not nodules, little, it was disfigured, not like this anymore, but it was better than this after he was treated. Okay, let's stop here, and then we'll go over the rest of everything else on Thursday.